Well, happy Wednesday. Welcome again to Quick Bite History Live, where we do try to have a little fun with history. We are very happy to be here this evening at our new time. You can catch us live each Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tonight we do present 3 different shows in one. First, we will roll out our robots for a speed painting of the 20 biggest stars from the early days of Hollywood. So that should be fun. And then next, we present influential political figures of the Cold War era. And we do plan on a special surprise bonus round to close out the evening for those who want to stick around and play some more. So do settle in for some serious fun with history. Do check in if you get a chance. I see Jan is here. Awesome. I see Arena is here as well. I know Jan's from Southern California and Arena is in Utah today. So hey from there. And let's give a shout out to our friends down on the Florida West Coast. You know, we're pretty well recovered here in upstate South Carolina from our last hurricane, and they're certainly dealing with things tonight. So a big shout out to those down on the west coast of Florida tonight. So anyway, if you're here, do check in and say hi. That's where you do throw your answers. And if you have any questions, fire those off, and we'll do our best to answer those along the way. And with that, I will load up our first set of robots and we'll get going. Now, you guys know the rules. Robots paint, you guessed. We start off easy and they get harder over time. So again, these are the 20 biggest stars from the early days of Hollywood. He was a master of silent film comedy and physical humor. His films often explored themes of poverty and class struggle. His most famous role was called The Tramp. All right, Jan knows it. Who else knows this one? Who else has this first easy? Easy speed painting answer. I'm going to adjust my camera just a touch here. There we go. I'm feeling better about that now. Yes, indeed. This is Mr. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was a pioneering figure in the film industry, and his iconic portrayal of the tramp remains a symbol of early Hollywood cinema. Oh, did he ever do any talkies? I know he was pre-talkie, but was he post-talkie? I can't remember. I think he probably was. All right. Well, you know how to play now. So next up, she was born in Sweden and came to America in the 1920s. She was known for her mysterious on-screen persona. Mysterious. She famously said, "I want to be alone." I don't remember. Her roles often portrayed deep emotional intensity. Who knows? Anybody recognize this early Hollywood star? Close. Ingrid Bergman was a little later. This is earlier, even earlier than Ingrid Bergman. Also Swedish. This gal starred in films like Camille and Ninochka. A little Russian for us. Anybody know? Going once, going twice. This indeed is Greta Garbo. Remember that now? Greta Garbo became a legend for her acting style and enigmatic personality, remaining one of the most iconic actresses of the golden age of Hollywood. Greta Garbo. Next up, you should know this one, I think. He was born in Italy and immigrated to America in the early 1900s. He was often cast as a romantic lead in silent films. Who knows who this is? His untimely death at the age of only 31 caused mass hysteria among his fans. He was known as the Latin Lover. The Latin Lover. This is the guy. This is him. The Latin Lover. I guess I'm supposed to go like this. Like that. He starred in The Sheik and Blood and Sand. Everybody know? Pretty well-known name in early Hollywood. This is, going once, going twice, Rudolph Valentino. Rudolph Valentino's magnetic screen presence and untimely death made him a cultural icon of the silent era of Hollywood. There you go. Next up, she was born in Germany and became famous in Hollywood in the 1930s. She was known for her androgynous fashion and sultry voice. Androgynous fashion. She performed for Allied troops during World War II. Who knows who this is? She often played femme fatale roles in her film. Femme fatale. This is not Bette Davis. This looks a little bit like Bette Davis. Similar eyes, I think, yeah. But no, a little earlier than Bette Davis for the most part. She starred in Morocco and The Blue Angel. And I think the key thing is she performed for the troops in World War II. Not Lauren Bacall. Hey, not Lauren Bacall. Going once, going twice. This is Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich broke traditional gender roles in Hollywood and became an enduring icon of glamour and style. Hey, what's up, Romus? Here we go. We're doing early stars of Hollywood. This gentleman started his career in silent films, becoming famous in the talkies. The talkies, I love that. Known for his rugged charm and manly appeal. He was often called the King of Hollywood. Often. This guy. King. There you go, James got it. Good job. He starred opposite Vivian Leigh in an epic film set during the American Civil War. Yes, he did. His most famous line is, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That was better. Everybody got it? Not Sean Connery, PP. This is Mr. Clark Gable. Clark Gable became one of Hollywood's most famous leading men with his role in Gone with the Wind, solidifying his place in cinema history. Clark Gable. All right, we're doing stars of early Hollywood. She was known for her unconventional, independent spirit. She won a record 4 Academy Awards for Best Actress. Can you believe that? 4. Who knows? Here's a key clue. She frequently starred opposite Spencer Tracy. Hang on to that, Ingrid Bergman, but I don't think Ingrid makes an appearance tonight. I like that green dress. It's a nice color. She was famous for portraying strong-willed, intelligent women. One of the most memorable roles was the African Queen. There you go. You got it. Mr. I Not. Yes, indeed. This is Miss Katharine Hepburn. She was one of the most acclaimed actresses of her time, renowned for her resilience and dynamic performances. And that African Queen also starred this gentleman. He was known for his tough guy persona in films. The tough guy. He played a detective in two famous film noir classics. How do you pronounce that? Noir? 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 Or noir? Oh no. You got it. You got it. You got it. This one's pretty easy, huh? He was married to actress, speaking of Lauren Bacall. His characters often had exteriors with hidden vulnerability. He starred in Casablanca, delivering the famous line, "Here's looking at you, kid. Here's looking at you, kid." I didn't do that very well. I think I did that more like Trump. I did like Trump with it. Everybody got it? Yeah, Maltese Falcon. That's right. I think that he won an award for that, right? Pretty sure. Humphrey Bogart remains an icon of American cinema, particularly for his roles in film noir and his portrayal of the complex hero in Casablanca. Well, I guess one of the guys named Rick. Anyway, Rick was complicated in Casablanca. Next up. She rose to fame in the 1920s as a dancer and an actress. She won an Academy Award for her role in Mildred Pierce. She was known for playing ambitious and determined women. Not Janis Joplin, not Betty Grable, not Betty Davis. Looks a little bit like Betty Davis again, I think. I think the robots think everyone looks like Betty Davis. She had famously difficult relationships with her adopted daughter, as that was portrayed in a book and movie called Mommy Dearest. And she did have a rivalry with Betty Davis. Who remembers who this is? Who had the big rivalry with Betty Davis? Who was the kind of the target of the movie and book Mommy Dearest? You guys know? Who knows? Who's got it? Going once, going twice. Miss Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford was one of Hollywood's most enduring stars with a career spanning several decades and numerous memorable performances. All right, I think you'll know this next guy. Early Hollywood. He was famous for his roles as a gangster during the 1930s. He had a high-energy acting style that often included fast talking and physicality. I guess he got in fights, huh? He was also a talented dancer. A fighter and a dancer, performing in musicals later in his career. All right, James got it. Good job. It doesn't really look like Eddie Murphy to me. I don't know. Do you guys think it looks like Eddie Murphy? No. He starred in The Public Enemy, which helped establish his tough guy persona. He is one of his most famous roles was in Yankee Doodle Dandy, where he played George M. McCann. I'm sorry, Joan Cohan. I got to pronounce that right for you. Who knows? Everybody got it? Jan had it early, I think. Indeed, this is James Cagney. James Cagney was a versatile actor known for both his gritty crime roles and his dynamic performances in musicals. Quite a combo. Next up, you'll know this one. She was a child star who transitioned into adult roles with ease. She had one of the most talked about personal lives in Hollywood, including 8 marriages. 8. I can't even do that with my fingers. 8. She won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. I think everybody's going to get this one. She starred in epic films like Cleopatra. She was known for her violet eyes and glamorous beauty. I was trying to look at that robot painting, and actually, if you look close, those are very dark violet eyes in there. Look in there. That's right. This is Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor was a Hollywood icon both for her acting talents and her role as a larger-than-life public figure. Yeah, she was a tabloid queen in the early days. Diamonds and Sapphires. Liz. That's correct, Elizabeth Taylor. All right, we're halfway home with Hollywood stars. The stars of early Hollywood. This gentleman was known for his naturalistic acting style, which made his performances seem effortless. He starred in 9 films with Katharine Hepburn. So this is the guy that I mentioned earlier. He won 2 consecutive Academy Awards for Best Actor. Who knows? Who knows this one? Who is this? He often played tough but principled characters in his films. One of his most famous roles was a defense attorney in Inherit the Wind. Inherit the Wind. Yeah, you guys are getting it. Yeah, I think that was, he kind of went by Spence, right? Yes, indeed. This is Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy was one of the greatest film actors of his generation, known for his ability to disappear into his roles, and his long collaboration with Katharine Hepburn. Spencer Tracy, there he is. That's him. Next up, she was born in Belgium and lived where she lived through World War II. She was known for her elegance and grace both on and off the screen. Hey, what's up, Nick? Nick A. Nick A. So it's more like Nick E, but Nick A. That's right. She starred in classic films such as Roman Holiday and My Fair Lady. She is best known for her role as Holly Golightly in Breakfast at Tiffany's. How about that name? Holly Golightly. Yes, this is Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn remains a fashion and film icon, remembered for her classic beauty and her tireless effort to help others through her humanitarian work. How about that? And she's famous for the little black dress and pearls look. The little black dress. This is her, Audrey. There she is. Pretty good painting by the robots, right? They're getting better. The robots are getting better. There's no doubt about it. They're improving by the day. Next up, he was born in England, but became one of Hollywood's most famous leading men. He was known for his charm and sophistication. He frequently worked with Alfred Hitchcock, starring in films like North by Northwest. You guys remember the scene where he's like running away from the airplane in the cornfield or wherever it is? The airplane is actually chasing him and he's running away from it. I think that's North by Northwest, isn't it? Hitchcock. He was a master of romantic comedies starring in Bringing Up Baby and the Philadelphia Story, the first version of the Philadelphia Story. His real name was Archibald Leach. There's a little bit of a fact for you, a trivia fact. Archibald Leach. Kind of looks like Jimmy Stewart, but it's not Jimmy Stewart. More suave, more sophisticated, more charming than Jimmy Stewart, if you can believe it. Cary Grant. Cary Grant was one of Hollywood's quintessential leading men, combining charm, wit, and physical grace in both cinema and comedy. You'll know the next one. She started her career as a model before moving into acting. She was known for her comedic roles, particularly in films where she played the dumb blonde. Her real name was Norma Jean Mortensen. There you go. Everybody's gonna get this one, I think. Okay. She sang famous rendition of Happy Birthday to President John F. Kennedy. Yes, she did. She starred in iconic films such as Some Like It Hot and 7-Year Itch. Remember, we're doing stars of early Hollywood, and this is Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe became one of the most famous and enduring symbols of beauty and glamour in Hollywood, even after her tragic death at a young age. Marilyn Monroe. All right, I think we got five or six more of these in the stars of old Hollywood. There she is, Marilyn Monroe. Just watched 7 Years. Cool. Next up, he was known for his roles in westerns and war films. He was often called the Duke. I think you'll know this one. He starred in many films directed by John Ford, including something called Stagecoach. There you go. You got it. You got it. He won an Academy Award for his role in. You remember which movie he got his Academy Award for? Who knows? It was later. It was later in his career for sure. He never got the award. But what movie did he get the award for? Who remembers? He is an American icon known for his portrayal of rugged heroic figures. Not Bela Lugosi, although that's a good character for early Hollywood, no doubt. The movie he won the award for was True Grit. True Grit. John Wayne's persona as we're using the quintessential word again. Quintessential tough cowboy and military hero solidified his status as one of the most beloved figures in American cinema. That is a quintessential look, Mookie. Everybody know that reference? I'm not going to go there. Next up, she was born Margarita Carmen Consino, but changed her name to fit Hollywood standards. Hollywood standards. She was a talented dancer, starring in many musicals. She was known for her fiery red hair and sultry screen presence. Not Jane Harlow. Who knows? Fiery red hair and sultry screen presence. Her most famous role was in Gilda, where she performed the iconic Put the Blame on Mame number. Never heard of it. Sorry. She was a popular pinup girl during World War II. Catherine O'Hare's a good guess. There you go. Dan's got it. Dan's got it. Who knows? Who else knows? This is Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth was one of Hollywood's biggest stars of the 1940s, remembered for her dancing and captivating beauty. Yes, indeed. This gentleman was known for his grace and elegance as a dancer. He formed a famous on-screen partnership with Ginger Rogers. He revolutionized the musical film genre with his creative choreography. Gene Kelly's a good guess, but incorrect. This is actually, I think this guy's pre-Gene Kelly in a way, although they were probably contemporaries as well. He performed in films like Top Hat and Swing Time. There you go. Ronan in for the answer. Jan had it too. He revolutionized the musical film genre. He was known for making incredibly complex dance routines look effortless. Fred Astaire remains one of the most celebrated dancers in film history with a career that spans several decades and set the standards for Hollywood music. Fred Astaire. Yeah, I think the robot did good with Fred. Definitely. Got him big ears, doesn't he? Fred Astaire. Okay, we got like 3 more of these in the old Hollywood category. She was known for playing strong, complex women. I've heard her the answer tonight. She won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. Who knows? Her rivalry with Joan Crawford was legendary in Hollywood. Who knows the answer? You guys are going to beat that Ingrid Bergman answer to death tonight. But it's incorrect. She starred in All About Eve, delivering the iconic line, "Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night." She was known for her striking eyes and no-nonsense attitude. Jan's got it. Jan's got it. Meryl Streep's a good guess, but incorrect. Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, that's a good one. Katharine Hepburn. Good guess, Jason. Everybody's guessing good, but this is indeed Bette Davis. Bette Davis was a trailblazing actress who paved the way for more dynamic and complex female roles in Hollywood. This is the lady that paved the way with a career that spanned over 50 years. 2 more. This gentleman was known for his understated and calm acting style. He often played heroic, all-American characters. We got Dopey Eye. Is that part of the song? I can't remember the song. Do you guys sing the song for me? Kim Carnes. She's got Bette Davis eyes. Something like that. He starred in westerns like High Noon. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor. This is the guy who played Lou Gehrig in Pride of the Yankees. This was Lou Gehrig. This guy's Lou Gehrig. Jimmy Stewart's a good answer, but incorrect. All those guys kind of looked the same, didn't they? Cary Grant, Gary Cooper, Rock Hudson, Robert Mitchum. Yeah, they all look the same. But this one is, in fact, Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper was a symbol of American heroism in cinema. He was known for his quiet strength and integrity in his performances. Gary Cooper. That's right. We got one more. We got one more in the category. She was known for her on-screen partnership with Fred Astaire. That should be enough. Everybody should know the answer already. She was a talented actress and dancer, excelling in both musicals and dramatic roles. She won an Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in Kitty Foyle. Kitty Foyle. I don't see the right answer up there yet. Kind of looks like Grace Kelly a little bit, huh? But not Grace Kelly, especially in this picture. Maybe the robots kind of got her confused with Grace Kelly. She danced backwards in high heels. That's a main clue. Backwards in high heels, a famous quip highlighting her skill. She did everything Fred Astaire did, and she did it backwards. She starred in films like Top Hat, Swing Time with Astaire. There you go. Ronald's got it. It looks like her, doesn't it? Well, let's just do that. Looks a little bit like Grace Kelly, though, too, doesn't it? Yes, this is Ginger Rogers, one of the most versatile performers in Hollywood, achieving success in both musicals and dramatic film roles. Ginger Rogers. All right, how'd you guys do in the old Hollywood category? Seems like you guys did pretty good. Not bad. More than 50%. Yeah, not bad. All right, so I got to load up the next file, don't I? Let's add this next one up to the stage. And we're going to move on. We're going to do influential figures of the Cold War era. This might be a little harder. More political guys. You know the rules still. Robots paint, you guess. We start off easy and get harder. I give some clues along the way. And this first one's pretty easy. He was born in Georgia, not in Russia. He became the leader of the Soviet Union after Lenin's death. Who remembers? He ruled with an iron fist and initiated several purges of political enemies. He led the Soviet Union through World War II. Jimmy Durante would be a good guess if we were still doing the old Hollywood category. But I think the other guys got it. Filthy Weston. I shit you not. Rhombus. Yes, indeed. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin's reign left a lasting impact on the Soviet Union, marked by both industrial progress and extreme repression. Cold War era is what we're doing. Influential figures of the Cold War era. Next up. This gentleman was born in Missouri and worked on his family farm before entering politics. That should be enough. He did become vice president under Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's always Stalin. Stalin has kind of a dynamic profile picture, right? That mustache is good. He was the architect of the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe after World War II. His presidency oversaw the start of the Cold War. So this is the guy who started the dang Cold War. He's also the guy who oversaw them starting what became the CIA. It wasn't called the CIA back then, but started the whole thing. Yeah, you guys all got it. Everybody's got the answer to this one. Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman. What's the S stand for? Nothing? I can't remember. Just S, right? Harry S. Truman's foreign policy decisions helped shape early years of the Cold War and solidified the United States' role in global leadership. Harry S. Truman. He did quite a bit in his short reign. Next up, figures of the Cold War. He was born into an aristocratic British family. He became a war correspondent before entering politics. I didn't know that. His leadership during World War II made him a hero in Britain. He's not wearing his hat in this picture either. He's often shown wearing a hat. He coined the term Iron Curtain. He's the guy that came up with that term to describe Soviet influence over Eastern Europe. He was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during the early Cold War years. That's right. You guys are all getting this. Good job, good job, good job. That looks like him. Robots did pretty good with that, don't you think? Yeah. Let's see. Churchill. Winston Churchill was one of the 20th century's most influential statesmen, known for his steadfast leadership and iconic speeches during times of crisis. Winston Churchill. All right, that's our first three from the Cold War era. Next up, he was a 5-star general in the U.S. Army during World War II. He became the first Supreme Allied Commander in Europe. He was later elected the 34th President of the United States in 1952. Not all that long ago. Yeah, you guys got it. He actually created the interstate highway system during his presidency. Did you know that? He famously warned of the military-industrial complex in his farewell address. Now, do you remember that? Because that was important. Warning. That's right. Dwight Eisenhower. His presidency was marked by efforts to contain communism, as well as his lasting contributions to the American infrastructure. That's true. He was oversaw a lot of projects. Dwight D. Eisenhower, quite a golfer. Next up, this gentleman rose to power after Joseph Stalin's death. He was the first secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. He initiated a process of de-Stalinization in the USSR. Sounds like a good bureaucratic word. Nope. It is not Mr. Gorbachev, but hang on to that answer. That may come up later. There's in my family, there's a famous baby picture of me, and I look exactly like this guy at the time. And he was very big then because it was right during the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that. Who knows who this is? This was an important guy, Cuban Missile Crisis. He famously banged his shoe at the United Nations, declaring, "We will bury you." He was leader during the Cuban Missile Crisis, like I said. Nikita Khrushchev, in case you didn't know, Nikita Khrushchev, who looks like me when I'm a baby, played a pivotal role in Cold War, overseeing both reform efforts in the Soviet Union and tense standoffs with the United States. Speaking of the United States and the Cuban Missile Crisis, he was born into a wealthy political and influential family. He was a naval officer in World War II and became a war hero. His presidency saw the escalation of the space race between the US and the USSR. Very good. Figured you guys might get this one. He was involved in the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba. That was quite a cluster. His leadership during the Cuban Missile Crisis is often seen as his defining moment. That did turn out better than it could have. Am I right? Hey, Chris. What's going on? Dobie. That's right. This is John F. Kennedy, JFK. His short presidency was marked by the Cold War tensions and his vision for a new frontier in the space exploration and civil rights. For those who have just joined us, remember we're doing influential figures in the Cold War era. That's our category. Robots paint, you guess, I give some clues. This gentleman began his political career as a U.S. congressman and senator from California. He ran for president in 1960 against Mr. Kennedy, but did lose. He is remembered for opening diplomatic relations with China. He was the first U.S. president to resign from office in response to the Watergate scandal. Yeah, everybody's getting this one for sure. I'm not sure the robots hit this. You know, the robots have been painting very well this evening, and I'm not sure they got this one perfect. He negotiated the Strategic Arms Limitation Talks, otherwise known as SALT, with the Soviet Union. That's right, this is Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon's legacy is a mix of significant foreign policy achievements and the big scandal of Watergate that ended his presidency. Didn't get impeached. Now, are you guys familiar with the theory that the CIA set that whole thing up? And they wanted Nixon out. The CIA is kind of behind everything. Are you aware of that theory? If not, look that up. Next up, key figures of the Cold War era. He was born in rural China and became involved in communist activities as a young man. He led the Chinese Communist Party to victory in the Chinese Civil War. He established the People's Republic of China in 1949. Rhombus. You guys got it. His policies, such as the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, led to widespread suffering. He is often seen as the founding father of modern China. What's the thing about Forrest Gump? I'm gonna have to go back and read that again. It's going by too fast. Autocorrect. I think you guys all have this. This is Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong's influence on Chinese history is profound, though his policies have been heavily criticized for their human costs. Mao Zedong. One of my favorite names, you tell. Next up, another key figure in the Cold War era. This gentleman was born into a wealthy land-owning family in Cuba. He became a lawyer before turning to revolutionary activity. He overthrew Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. I never knew Batista's first name. Fulgencio. How about that? In 1959. He aligned Cuba with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. I know. How about that? What's up with that? He was the leader of Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yes, I'm sure everybody's got this, and the robots did a excellent painting. How about all the the CIA attempts to assassinate him with the exploding cigars and all that stuff. If you haven't read about that, you need to watch some videos on my channel. I've got a lot of CIA videos. FYI, Mr. Fidel Castro's revolutionary leadership during Cuba turned Cuba into a communist state, making it a focal point of Cold War tension. Yes, indeed. Okay, this next one gets us halfway home. This gentleman was born in a small Russian village and rose through the ranks of the Communist Party. He became the General Secretary of the Soviet Union in 1985. Bad timing. Wasn't much to do after that in the Soviet Union after 1985. He introduced the policies of glasnost and perestroika. Who knows what perestroika means in English? Yes, you guys have the correct answer. I don't have his tattoo. His tattoo's in the shadow up there. In the shadow. All right, not his tattoo, his birthmark. Who knows? Anybody know what perestroika means in English? He did win a Nobel Peace Prize, in case you didn't know. Anyway, this is Mikhail Gorbachev. His reforms were intended to modernize the Soviet Union, but they ultimately contributed to the dissolution and the very end of the Cold War. And perestroika means restructuring, and glasnost means openness. So you learn something every day. Glasnost means openness, yeah. Perestroika means restructuring. Next up, another Cold War figure. He was born in Texas and became a school teacher before entering politics. He became vice president under John F. Kennedy. He passed landmark civil rights legislation during his presidency. Who knows who this one is? He escalated U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. This is the guy. His domestic programs were called the Great Society. From Texas. Who knows who this is? This painting might not be as good as some of the others. I'm not sure. Who knows who this is? This is the man who killed JFK. Maybe. That's a theory, for sure. Sydney is not right. This is the guy that was the vice president under John F. Kennedy, later becoming president. This is Lyndon B. Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Presidency was marked by both his efforts to expand civil rights and the controversy over the Vietnam War. Next up. You'll know this one. He was an actor before entering politics, starring in films and TV shows. He served as governor of California before becoming president. His presidency saw a massive buildup in military spending during the Cold War. He is famous for the phrase, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Yes. You guys know this one. Bonzo. Was it Bedtime for Bonzo? Breakfast for Bonzo? Wasn't there more than one movie? I can't remember. Bedtime for Bonzo. Mr. Ronald Reagan's foreign policy was characterized by his staunch anti-communism, and his leadership is often credited with hastening the end of the Cold War. It sounds accurate, though. Rise in spending right when Soviet Union was having so much trouble with their economy. Yeah, I think so. Ronald Reagan. All right, remember we're doing influential figures in the Cold War era. This gentleman rose to power following the Tiananmen Square protest in 1989, part of the crackdown. He became the General Secretary of the Communist Party in China in 1989. He led China through a period of economic reform and modernization. He advocated for China's integration into the global economy, including its entry into the World Trade Organization, WTO. This is a Chinese guy. Name's hard to say. I think he's still alive. 1926 through now. He was China's president during the 1990s, leading the country through a period of significant transformation. Anybody know? Going once, going twice. Chug Pow, sounds like a good guess. Jiang Zemin, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. Jiang Zemin's leadership helped steer China towards a rapid economic growth. All right, you should know this one, I think. He was born in Korea under the Japanese occupation. He fought as a guerrilla against the Japanese during World War II. He became the leader of North Korea after its establishment in 1948. So this is the guy. Close. And with the Korean guys, I never know whether their names, they have more than one name, I think is the problem. He led North Korea during the Korean War. He established a totalitarian regime, becoming known as the Great Leader. So this is the original Great Leader guy. So the way I would say his name is Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung. But I think they do go by more than one name. Kim Il-sung's rule. Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung's laid the foundation for dynastic leadership in North Korea, with his descendants continuing to govern the country to this day. So there were two after him, I think. Yes. Yeah, bad guy for sure. All right, number 15. This guy was born in Vietnam when it was still part of the French Indochina. He was educated in Paris, how about that, and became involved in the communist activities there. He was a founding member of the Communist Party of Vietnam. Who knows who this is? He led the Vietnamese resistance against the French colonial rule. He was the leader of North Vietnam during the Vietnam War. So who was in charge of North Vietnam during the war? There you go. You got it. You got it. And I think the robots did a good job on this painting too, from the pictures I've seen. That's right, this is Mr. Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh is revered as the father of modern Vietnam, having led the country through its struggle for independence and the early stages of the Vietnam War. Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi. Or Hoochie. Hoochie. Hoochie Ho Chi. Okay, on the other side of the coin, this gentleman was a French army officer who led the Free French forces during World War II. He became the president of France and helped establish the Fifth Republic in 1958. So he would have been really involved in Vietnam as well. He pursued a policy of French independence from influence of both U.S. and Soviet Union during the Cold War. That's right. You remember France was very independent. They tried not to side with either the US or France during the whole Cold War thing. He famously pulled France out of NATO for a time. He remained a symbol of French national pride and strength throughout the Cold War era. I bet that pissed some American soldiers off. Did it help free France and then sides with the Russians? Or doesn't side with the Americans? You've got it. You've got it. Definitely. Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle leadership helped build France after World War II and established it as a powerful independent player during the Cold War. A powerful independent player. That is. Now, I'm bad with Indian names. This gentleman was born into a prominent Indian family and was educated in Britain. He was a key figure in India's struggle for independence from British rule. He was India's first prime minister after Independence Day in 1947. He was a founding leader of non-aligned movement, which sought to avoid siding with either the U.S. or the USSR. Another one of these guys. Fence rider. Milk toast. This is not Mahatma Gandhi. This is the more political. Mahatma Gandhi was almost like a populist religious leader, and this was the president guy. So help me with his name now. He was the father of Indira Gandhi, who also became a prominent Indian leader. His last name was Nehru, so you'll remember that part, but his first name is Jawaharlal Nehru. His vision for a secular socialist India helped shape the nation's domestic policies and his foreign policy of non-alignment during the Cold War. Okay, we got three more in this category. Well, they've already got the painting done. You guys know who this is? He became president of Egypt. He nationalized the Suez Canal, leading to the Suez Crisis in 1956. We took it away from the British, no doubt. He was a prominent leader in the Arab world and a champion of pan-Arabism. He maintained a delicate balance act during the Cold War, receiving aid from both the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Mubarak came later. This is earlier. This is the guy who kind of set up Egypt's direction back in the day. And before Sadat. This was like the guy before Sadat. Sadat was like this guy's vice president. This is Gamal Abdel Nasser. Nasser is the key name. Nasser was one of the most influential leaders in the Middle East for his policies and Arab unity. We've got two more. These guys are Russian, a little more obscure perhaps. He was born in a small village in what is now Belarus. He was a Soviet diplomat who served as the Soviet Union's representative at the United Nations. He was known for his participation in arms control negotiations between the U.S. and the USSR. He served as the Soviet's foreign minister for nearly 3 decades. He played a key role in maintaining Soviet foreign policy during the Cold War. He was involved in important negotiations such as strategic arms limitation talks, those old SALT talks. So he was a key player in the Cold War, no doubt. Anybody remember the name of this gentleman? I don't think so. This one was very hard. This is Andrei Gromyko. The name sounds familiar now that you hear it, right? Andrei Gromyko. Andrei Gromyko was a key figure in Soviet diplomacy for decades, often referred to as Mr. Niet. Mr. Niet. Mr. No, for his frequent use of the veto at the United Nations. Mr. Niet. All right, last one. You're going to know this one. He was born in Germany, but fled to the United States with his family during the rise of Nazi power. He served as National Secretary Advisor and Secretary of State under Presidents Nixon and Ford. Yeah, Gromyko, you got it. He was a central figure in U.S. foreign policy during the 1970s, especially in relation to the Vietnam War and a Cold War detente. He negotiated the Paris Peace Accords, which led to the U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1973. Who is it? Kind of looks like Soros, right? He does look like Soros, but this is not Soros. This is the American guy. He was Nixon's buddy. And he did serve under Ford as well and remained an advisor for a long time. Is he? He might even still be alive. Is he still alive? I think he's still alive, unless you guys know he passed. That's right. You got it. Wotan. Got it. And now everybody's getting it. Henry Kissinger is a highly controversial figure in American foreign policy, known for his realpolitik approach and significant influence in the Cold War diplomacy. All right. That was a little harder, but you guys did pretty well, right? Not bad. Not bad. Cold War era. All right. We do have a bonus round. So if you guys want to stick around, it is two groups of 10. 10 famous figures from ancient Greece. And then we also have, let me go down and say, 10 famous pirates. So that's a little more fun, right? So that's all we got for the evening. And so I'll get those started. Let me fire up that next round. I need to go down here. Boom, boom, boom. P2. I think it's this one. No, it's not that one. It's this one. There we go. I had to oil those robots up. They're getting tired. All right, so you guys know the rules. Robots do the painting, you do the guessing. I give some clues along the way. This is 10 famous figures from ancient Greece. And I'm going to do these first person. I never wrote any of my own teachings, but my students recorded many dialogues involving me. I was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock for corrupting the youth of Athens. I did. I corrupted the youth of Athens. I am known for my method of questioning to stimulate critical thinking and to illuminate ideas. My famous quote is, I know that I know nothing. There you go. You got it. I should do not. Very good. Yes, indeed. This is Socrates. Socrates was a classical philosopher whose methods and ideas laid the groundwork for Western philosophy. His contributions continue to influence modern thought. Socrates. He was around from 469 to 399 BCE. There he is, Socrates. I guess we know what these guys look like from paintings and sculpture. All right, next up, famous Greeks. I founded an academy in Athens that became one of the first institutions of higher learning in the Western world. My works include dialogues featuring my mentor and my ideas on justice and the ideal state. So Socrates was this guy's mentor. This guy wrote the story or the book called The Republic, which describes a society governed by philosopher kings. You've heard of that idea. This is the guy who developed that. I was a student of Socrates and a teacher of Aristotle. So in between, right? He learned from Socrates and then he taught Aristotle. Who knows who this is? Yeah, you got it. Shituna. You know your Greek history. That's right, Plato. Plato's philosophical writings have had a profound impact on Western thought, especially in the areas of ethics, politics, and epistemology. Epistemology. There he is, Plato. Next up, I wrote on a wide array of subjects, including biology, metaphysics, logic, and ethics. My school, the Lyceum, became a center for scientific and philosophical inquiry. I tutored a young prince who would become one of the greatest conquerors in history. I was a student of Plato and a teacher of Alexander the Great. Who knows who this is? Student of Plato and a teacher of Alexander the Great. Who knows? Anybody? Going once, going twice. This is Aristotle. Aristotle's contributions to philosophy and science have been foundational, and his works continue to be a significant part of academic study today. Aristotle. 384 to 322 BCE. And of course, that leads us to the next one. I became king of Macedonia at a young age and embarked on an ambitious campaign of conquest. I never, ever, ever, ever lost a battle during my military career. My empire stretched from Greece to Egypt and as far as the borders of India. Yeah, you got it. Las Afarias. Las Afarias. Is that Mel Gibson, EP? My empire stretched from Greece to Egypt. I was tutored by Aristotle and known for spreading Greek culture across the known world. Yes, indeed, this is Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great's conquest ushered in the Hellenistic era, during which Greek culture and influence spread widely. So Alexander was responsible for the spread throughout the world of Greek culture. There he is, Alexander the Great. Next up. He's actually going back in time a bit. My exact identity and existence have been subjects of debate for centuries. I composed epic poems that are among the earliest and most important works of Western literature. My works recount the Trojan War and the adventures of a hero's journey home. I am credited with writing the Iliad and the Odyssey. There you go. Everybody's getting it. Rhombus. Wotan. I don't know if that looks like him. I don't know if they knew what he looked like. The robots are guessing. They're just guessing on this one. Yes, this is Homer. Homer's epics have deeply influenced Western literature and remain central to the study of Greek mythology and history. It's easy to get the two confused in Greek, right? What's mythology and what's history? Nobody's quite sure. Nobody's quite sure. Okay, we got a few more. I traveled extensively documenting the customs and histories of various peoples. This guy's more of an explorer. My accounts include both historical facts and tales of distant lands and cultures. I wrote about the Greco-Persian Wars, providing one of the earliest records of these events. I am actually called the father of history. This is the first historian. There you go. There he is, the first historian. That's him. Yeah, you got it. Good job. Wotan. Wotan knows his history. 484 to 425 BCE. This is Mr. Herodotus. Herodotus's book, The Histories, is a foundational work of history. Well, I can see that. Blending historical narrative with ethnographic details. Ethnographic details. Now, what the hell are ethnographic details? I don't know. Herodotus. Oh, well, we're already on the next one. I led Athens during its golden age, promoting arts, literature, and democracy. I initiated the construction of the Parthenon and other significant structures on the Acropolis. This is the guy. My leadership was marked by the early years of the Peloponnesian War. I am often remembered as a great statesman, orator, and general of Athens. Who knows who this is? Yeah, you got it? Yeah, you're getting all the, you know your Greek stuff. Yeah, you're Greek. Are you Greek? There you go. Yes, this is Mr. Pericles. Pericles played a crucial role in advancing Athenian democracy and fostering a cultural flourishing that has left a lasting legacy. Pericles. 495 to 429 BCE. When they built the Parthenon. There he is. Okay, we got three more in the category. My work laid the groundwork for a field of study that is still taught in schools today. This guy is around circa 300 BCE. I'm not sure the exact date. I compiled and organized much of the knowledge of this subject into a comprehensive textbook. My book has been used as a standard text for teaching mathematics for over 2 millennia. That's some lasting power. Who knows who this is? The math guy. This is the math guy. Who knows who the math guy is? I am known as the father of geometry, and I wrote something called The Elements. Who knows who the math guy is from Greece? You're going to know it when I tell you. Going once. Oh, that's a good guess. There you go. That's it. Mr. Euclid. Euclid's Elements is one of the most influential works in the history of mathematics, shaping the study of geometry for centuries. 2 millennia. All right, we got 2 more. I made significant contributions to mathematics also, physics and engineering. My inventions include a device for raising water and a famous lever principle. I famously said, "Give me a place to stand and I will move the earth." Never heard that before. Give me a place to stand and I will move the earth. I discovered the principle of buoyancy, now named after me. Huh. Buoyancy. Another mathematics guy. Who knows this next one? Buoyancy. Physics, engineering. You're going to know the name when I tell you. 287 to 212 BCE. Going once. This is Archimedes. Archimedes was a brilliant mathematician and inventor whose discoveries and inventions have had a lasting impact on science and engineering. Archimedes. There you go. You got it. We got one more. We've covered a lot of subjects. What subject haven't we covered yet? I separated the practice of medicine from superstition and religion. I emphasize the importance of diet and lifestyle in maintaining health. How about that? It might be important today. My name is associated with a famous oath, still relevant in medical ethics today. Who knows that? That's probably the key clue there. I am often referred to as the father of medicine. Father of medicine. Who knows who this is? Who's the father of medicine? Who's well known for his famous oath? Famous oath. There you go. I should do not. Mr. Hippocrates. Circa 460 to 370. He lived 90 years because he ate healthy. Hippocrates' approach to medicine established foundational principles that continue to influence the field of medicine today. Hippocrates. There you go. Well, we made it through those 10. So all we have left now is the 10 most infamous pirates in history. So we're going to do some infamous pirates. Start easy, get harder. I warned you. First person again. So that's fun. Here we go. I operated around the West Indies and the eastern coast of the American colonies. Circa 1680 to 1718, if that helps you. My appearance was fearsome, with a long black beard and fuses tied in my beard to create a terrifying image. That does sound terrifying. My flagship was the Queen Anne's Revenge. Yeah, you guys know this. I was killed in a fierce battle off the coast of North Carolina. Local. That's right. This is, going once, going twice, sold to Mr. Blackbeard. Blackbeard was one of the most notorious pirates of the Golden Age of piracy. The Golden Age. Nice. He's known for his intimidating presence and ruthless tactics. What's his other name? Yeah, there you go. You got it. Not William Teach, though. I've got it as Edward Teach. Edward Teach. Of course, we might want to double check that, but Edward Teach, circa 1680, 1718. Anyway, moving on. I started as a privateer before turning to piracy. I was initially hired to hunt down pirates, but ended up becoming one myself. Pirate's life for me. My trial and execution in London were highly publicized. My buried treasure is part of the pirate lore and legend. So I've buried a bunch of treasure out there. And it's still buried out there. Who knows who this is? famous pirate, turned to piracy after starting as a privateer. Who knows who this is? Good guess, good guess. Incorrect. There he's got his map where his buried treasure is. This is Mr. Captain Kidd. Captain Kidd. And this is where the William name came in. William Kidd. 1645, 1701. Captain Kidd's transition from privateer to pirate and his subsequent trial and execution made him a legendary figure in pirate history. Captain Kidd. There he is. I don't know if Captain Jack Sparrow's in this group or not. Not sure. Next up, I was a privateer who operated in the Caribbean, or Caribbean if you prefer, and attacked Spanish possessions. I sacked Panama City, one of the wealthiest cities in the Americas at the time. I was indeed knighted by King Charles II for my exploits. I served as Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica after my pirating career. I retired to Jamaica. He must have liked the rum. Not Barbarossa. Barbarossa was in the Mediterranean, the Barbarossa brothers. Yeah, I know that. My houseboat was named the Barbarossa. So I do know about Barbarossa. I had a red beard back in the day, not silver like it is now. Anyway, who is this? This is Sir Henry Morgan. You guys know that name? 1635, 1688. Sir Henry Morgan was a prominent privateer who later became a respected colonial official, blurring the lines between piracy and legitimacy. All right, let's talk about some girl pirates. I was born in Ireland, but moved to the American colonies as a child. I became involved with pirates after leaving my husband for a pirate named Calico Jack. Quite a rebel. I disguised myself as a man to participate in pirating activities. I was one of the few female pirates to gain notoriety. Who knows who this is? She was quite a wild child. 1697 to 1782, so she did live a long time. She became a very old rebel. Who remembers? She left her husband for the pirate Calico Jack. There you go. I think you got it. This indeed is Anne Bonny. Anne Bonny was a fierce and fearless pirate who defied the gender norms of her time to carve out a place in pirate history. Next up, I captured more ships than any other pirate during the golden age of piracy. Prolific. My career spanned the Atlantic and the Americas to Africa. I was everywhere. I was known for my strict discipline and maintaining order among my crew. Probably lucky he didn't get mutiny. I was killed in a battle off the coast of Africa. Now, this guy's better known for his nickname versus his real name. Who knows who this might be? Oh, close. I think that's a good guess. I don't believe it is Bluebeard, although his blue beard does look a little blue in the picture. This guy's name was Black Bart. Black Bart, also known as Bartholomew Roberts. I guess he's actually Bartholomew Roberts, also known as Black Bart. He is known as one of the most successful and feared pirates of his time, capturing over 400 ships. How about that? All right, now here's that character, that Scarby bastard that stole the guy's wife. My nickname comes from the colorful calico clothes I wore. I am best known for having two female pirates, Anne Bonny and Mary Read, in my crew. I operated in the Bahamas and the waters around Cuba. Yeah, that's the guy. That must have been the basis for the Pirates of the Caribbean, right? For Johnny Depp's character. He must have read up on this guy. I was captured and executed in Jamaica. Yes, this is Calico Jack. Calico Jack is remembered for his flamboyant style and his notable presence of female pirates in his crew. He was a wild guy. He was a ladies' man. Do anybody know his real name? Real name. Anybody got it? Going once, going twice. Real name is John Rackham. Kind of boring. John Rackham. Okay, we got, four more. I disguised myself as a man to join the British military. I later joined the crew of Calico Jack, where I continued to disguise my true identity. I revealed my gender to Anne Bonny, who also disguised herself as a man. Yeah, you got it, Ronald. It was quite the story, isn't it? The female pirates and the Calico Jack, and they were all together, I guess. I don't know, kind of a wild threesome, I guess. I don't know what it was. Hard to say, right? Yes, this is Mary Read. Mary Read was a daring pirate who lived an adventurous life, challenging societal expectations of women during her time. Yes, she did. Mary Read. Yeah, we're gonna have to look up that story. We want the real story of the pirate housewives of Jamaica. Some sort of series like that. Something like that. All right, we got three more. Mary Read. So who are the two female pirates? Mary Read and Anne Bonny. All right, here we go. I was known for my ruthlessness and ferocity in battle. I refused to accept a royal pardon and continued my piratical activities. You guys heard of that word before? Piratical activities. My flagship was the Ranger, cool name for boat, the Ranger. I was captured and executed in Jamaica. That Jamaica had a hanging judge. Am I right? Yeah. Anybody know who this is? I've heard of this guy, but it is a little more obscure. Going once, going twice. This is Captain Charles Vane. Captain Charles Vane was a feared pirate captain known for his aggressive tactics and refusal to abandon piracy for a pardon. They said, we'll let you off if you quit. He said, no. I like being a pirate. All right, we got two more. Who's this? I don't know who that is. Popped up in there. I was infamous for my cruelty and sadistic treatment of captives. How about that? I operated primarily in the Caribbean and off the American coast. My flag depicted a red skeleton on a black background. Anybody remember who this might be? I mysteriously disappeared with my fate remaining unknown. This is the pirate who just disappeared, 1690 to 1724. He was famous for his cruelty and sadistic treatment of captives. Known as the most brutal pirate of the Golden Age. He was notorious for his violent and ruthless nature. This guy's name was Edward Lowe. Edward Lowe is one of the most brutal pirates of the Golden Age. Edward Lowe. They got hard. I told you they'd get harder. And they got harder in the pirate category. Now we got one more, and it's pretty hard. 1688 to 1718. I was known as the gentleman pirate due to my background as a wealthy landowner. I turned to piracy despite having no maritime experience. Huh, interesting. He worked at Lowe's and it was brutal. That sounds right. Maybe that's where the story came from. I partnered with Blackbeard for a period. So this was a Blackbeard apprentice. I was captured and executed in Charleston, South Carolina. Local. All right, gentleman pirate, was a landowner, no maritime experience, partnered with Blackbeard, executed in Charleston, South Carolina. Anybody have any idea? Going once, going twice. This is Mr. Stede Bonnet. Stede Bonnet's transition from a gentleman planter to a pirate captain is one of the more unusual stories in pirate history, earning him a unique place among his peers. All right, I told you they got harder in the pirate category. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It was fun. We covered a lot of territory tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And we do this every Wednesday night. So hopefully you'll join me again sometime. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight and thank you again. Thanks a lot for coming. See you later. Peace out.